Hey everybody, it's Matt from nsickness.org. Today I'm going to talk about mast cell activation. I'm going to go over a basic introduction. Let's call it mast cell activation for beginners. So if you don't know a lot about mast cell activation, this is a great video for you. I'm going to break it down in the most realistic manner, not based upon what the textbook discussion of mast cell activation is. So this will be exciting for you. So what is mast cell activation? That's when your mast cells, which are the most important immune cell in your whole body, they're called the effector cells. What they do is they actually perceive what's happening in your environment, any type of threat that comes into the body, that's around the body, that's in the environment. The mast cells are going to go ahead and perceive, and they're going to respond with either inflammatory molecules like histamine, cytokines, prostaglandins, or anti-inflammatory molecules. And this sets off a chain of events in your body which cause you to feel good or bad. You know, they're even responsible for secreting certain molecules that affect your neurotransmitters, etc. So at the end of the day, what are mast cells? They're the most important immune cell in your entire body. They basically interact with all of your other immune cells, and your immune system is the cause of all your symptoms. Your immune system is what's causing your symptoms to flare up. Anytime you have a flare in your symptoms, it's because of inflammation, which is being caused by your own immune system. So your mast cells are the head honcho of your immune system, so we always got to pay attention to what's happening with your mast cells. So now that you know what mast cells are, what is mast cell activation? Mast cell activation is a term that's used to describe the degranulation of mast cells, meaning the release of molecules from the mast cells to influence different parts of the body. Now, we talked about how they can secrete anti-inflammatory molecules, inflammatory molecules, but what's important to understand is that mast cell activation can occur and cause a number of symptoms that you're dealing with. So, for example, sinus issues, bronchitis, or just, lung issues, pain in your knee, stomach issues, all these things are initially caused by a mast cell activation, a secretion of inflammatory molecules, which eventually generates your symptoms. So mast cell activation is a general term. Mast cell activation syndrome, quote unquote, is a diagnostic term that, in my opinion, you don't need to be concerned with. It's just a term that they use to describe these symptoms. It doesn't mean that it actually really has any weight. It's when your histamine levels are elevated, your tryptase levels are elevated, you're reacting abnormally to different supplements, medication, etc. And the doctors don't know what to do in most cases, so they call it mast cell activation syndrome. That does really nothing for you as a patient. What you really want to understand is that mast cell activation symptoms are caused by one of three things, okay? What we are consuming, which could be what we're eating, what we're taking supplement-wise, medication-wise, whatever, okay? What we're inhaling through our nose into our lungs. This could be chemicals, it could be fragrances, it could be mycotoxins, mold spores, things like that, which really aggravate the immune system and are quite common when you have mast cell activation. And then we got the last one, which is what we're thinking, are doing, our stress, right? Those things obviously affect your immune system and affect the way that the body reacts to other things. So if you're dealing with mast cell activation symptoms, you are dealing with some type of food sensitivities, you're dealing with some intolerance to something you're taking, you're dealing with some reaction to something you're inhaling, you're dealing with a perception that's flawed, that's making you believe that you're threatened, that there's a constant threat around you, that you're never going to get better, that this danger is imminent. It's this constant activation of the nervous system which leaves your body in a state of fight or flight, which perpetuates the symptoms. So these are the real causes of mast cell activation. Mast cell activation is a general term. As I said, mast cell activation syndrome is a diagnostic term. What you need to understand is if you found this video because you think you have mast cell activation symptoms, then you have to realize they're being caused by the things you're doing, not just some term called mast cell activation syndrome or some chronic infection or whatever it is. Obviously, there's infection, there's gut that plays a part in this, but it's not typically the root cause. It is just part of the issue. So thanks for watching, everybody. If you have any questions about mast cell activation, reach out to me. My website is endsickness.org. I got hundreds of articles, hundreds of videos on there teaching you how to heal yourself. And talk to you soon. Thanks.